Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through what we're calling the Digital Survival Guide. Think of this as your definitive playbook-style survival manual for mastering the digital tools we rely on every single day. I mean, we all use them, right? But using them with precision, security, and professionalism without making those career-damaging mistakes, well, that's an entirely different skill set. So get ready to upgrade your corporate communication game.
Oh, we have all been there. That horrible moment, your heart literally drops right into your stomach. Have you ever hit reply all and just immediately regretted it? Maybe you sent a private complaint about the office coffee machine to, say, 50 executives, or attached the totally wrong file to a client thread. It's a relatable panic for sure, but it brilliantly highlights the incredibly high stakes of our daily digital interactions. A single wrong click can impact your professional reputation, compromise team trust, or even create a massive security vulnerability. Today, we're going to make sure that never happens to you again.
All right, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Anatomy of professional emails. 2. Mastering digital file sharing. 3. Digital copyrights and licenses. And 4. Essential communication security practices. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Anatomy of professional emails.
Despite all the flashy new chat apps out there, email remains totally king. And why is that? Well, because it's an asynchronous networking service. That's really just a fancy technical way of saying you don't have to be online at the exact same time as your recipient. It efficiently routes, transmits, and archives structured correspondence globally. The strategic business advantages here are massive, honestly. It delivers complex documents across the globe in seconds at virtually zero cost, and crucially, it automatically maintains a searchable, chronological record of your agreements and formal decision-making history.
Okay, let's really dive into this anatomy, because this is where people tend to make the most mistakes. The to field is strictly for primary recipients. If you need someone to take a direct action or respond, their name goes here. On the other hand, the CC, or carbon copy field, well, that's purely for secondary stakeholders. These are the folks who just need to stay informed about the conversation but aren't actually required to act. Mixing these two up? Yeah, that's literally the #1 cause of cluttered inboxes and missed deadlines. And then there's BCC, or the blind carbon copy field. This is the hidden field, and it is basically your ultimate privacy shield. When you use BCC, it delivers copies of the message while keeping recipient identities completely invisible to everyone else on the list. If you're distributing an email to a large external group, like a mass mailing to clients for instance, forgetting to use BCC is a massive netiquette violation. Why? Because you are needlessly exposing everyone's private contact information. Always use BCC for external disconnected groups.
So executing a flawless corporate email actually requires a pretty precise workflow. After you hit compose and set your addresses using those strict to and CC rules we just talked about, pause at step 3. Your subject line must be crystal clear. Something like urgent, review of ICT department module, never just hello or checking in. Step 4, draft the body with clean, professional formatting and a proper sign-off. Then attach your files, verify your size limits, and only then give everything one last verification check and click send to route it securely.
Section 2. Mastering digital file sharing.
Now that we've locked down the inbox, let's shift gears into the dynamic, real-time world of cloud collaboration. Instead of relying on clunky, bulky email attachments, we now use specific platforms to sync up workflows from anywhere in the world. We've got communication tools like Teams and Slack for real-time messaging and quick huddles. Document collaboration platforms like Google Docs and Microsoft 365 allow for simultaneous, multi-user live co-authoring, which is a real game changer. Project management software like Trello and Asana tracks our workflows and deadlines. And finally, cloud storage platforms like Google Drive and Dropbox provide a centralized host for all your files. Using the right tool for the right job completely eliminates project delays and keeps everything beautifully organized.
But hey, just having the tools isn't enough, right? You need the actual playbook. First off, keep those team storage spaces clean by sharing only relevant files. Second, and this is a major security point, maintain document security by applying the principle of least privilege. In plain English, that just means only giving people the exact level of access they need to do their specific job. Viewer, commenter, or editor. Don't make everyone an editor if they only need to read the thing. Finally, observe your deadlines and always keep precise documented records of decisions made during live video meetings so the whole team stays perfectly aligned.
Section 3. Digital copyrights and licenses.
All right, we need to have a quick talk about plagiarism.
because finding a file, an image, or a piece of code online doesn't automatically give you the right to use it in your corporate projects. And no, this isn't just about failing a high school term paper. In a professional setting, adopting someone else's intellectual work and presenting it as your own without explicit credit is disastrous. We're talking about actual legal action, lawsuits over intellectual property infringement, massive financial penalties, and a total irreversible loss of your professional credibility. Just always attribute quotes, data, or media to their original creators. It's that simple.
Now, creators use different legal frameworks or licenses to protect their digital content. Proprietary licenses are commercial and highly restrictive. Think of things like Microsoft Office or Adobe Photoshop. You pay a fee, you can't see the source code, and you are strictly prohibited from modifying it. On the total opposite end of the spectrum is the open source license, which is highly permissive. Here, the creator provides public access to the source code, granting you the freedom to study, modify, and redistribute it. Think Linux kernel or VLC media player. Finally, there's the public domain, where intellectual property protection has entirely expired, meaning the content is completely free to use and modify by anyone.
This all builds into something super cool called Creative Commons, or CC for short. It's a flexible licensing framework that lets creators grant specific, modular permissions to the public. If you see BY, that means attribution. You absolutely must give clear credit to the creator. And C stands for non-commercial, meaning you can use it for internal learning, but you need to strictly keep it out of your corporate sales deck. And ND means no derivatives. You can share the work, but it must be passed along completely unchanged and whole. No remixing, no editing. Understanding these little tags keeps your company out of legal hot water.
Section 4. Essential Communication Security Practices.
Okay, we're raising the stakes for this final section. How do you lock down your communications against threats while maintaining your professional reputation? Well, it all starts with network etiquette, or netiquette. And listen, good netiquette isn't just about being polite. These rules actually act as protocols to prevent operational friction and security breaches. Rule 1. Treat your interlocutors with dignity. Rule 2. Maintain a polished tone. Avoid casual text slang or emojis in formal business channels. Rule 3 is a strict security boundary. Never share sensitive details or unauthorized internal data. And Rule 4, going right back to our very first scenario today, avoid spamming your colleagues with corporate reply all loops unless the message is genuinely relevant to every single person on that thread.
The absolute crucial point here is that good behavior has got to be backed up by hard security defenses. Here is your non-negotiable security checklist. First, protect your mailboxes and tools with complex passwords combined with mandatory multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Second, never open executable files or click links from unverified senders to block malware and phishing attempts. Third, verify sender identity to spot email spoofing. You must carefully check the header domain. For example, look closely to ensure it says name@kcnp.ac.ke and not a deceptive lookalike like kcnp-edu.com. See the difference? Finally, if you are on a public or shared computer, always log out of your session to prevent unauthorized access.
So this brings us to one final question for you to ponder today. Take a look at your sent folder when you get a chance. Are your digital communications building team trust, or are they just adding to the noise? By mastering the anatomy of your emails, leveraging file sharing matrices, respecting digital copyrights, and locking down your security practices, you're no longer just sending messages, you're communicating with precision, professionalism, and real security. Apply these survival guide principles immediately and take complete control of your digital presence. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy communicating!